Hello and welcome everyone to Enchanted Empath, a podcast for your soul. I'm Charlene Murphy, intuitive empath and soul coach on a mission to help you wake up and realize and embrace and embody your higher self, your inner brilliance, so that you can heal your body, manifest anything, and truly create a life that you love. So with that, let's dive into today's topic, which is one of my favorites. I love talking about the chakras, and today we're going to talk about 7 signs that your root chakra is blocked. But don't worry, I'm not going to leave you hanging on a blocked root chakra. I'll also give you some tips and tricks on how to calm it, how to clear it, and unblock it. Okay? So feel free to chime in and ask your questions during the course of the Soulcast. And I'll be checking the chat to make sure that I answer your questions and give you the best possible guidance I can. Okay, so first off, some of you might be wondering, well, what the heck is a chakra? I don't even know what you're talking about. So let me back it up a little bit and talk about the chakra system just very briefly. Well, we all know by now that we are energy beings, right? That we are spirit. And all of that just boils just down to a tremendous amount of energy. And we have energy centers inside of our bodies. They're kind of like a thermostat or a barometer or your internal GPS system, so we have so much help inside of our own bodies that give us indicators of how we're doing in life, and the chakras correspond with certain areas of our lives. So the root chakra in particular speaks to our feeling of safety and security. And so then we have many energy centers in our bodies, but traditionally we talk about the main 7 chakras. And so they start at the base of the spine and go all the way up to the crown. And so you can imagine that the bottom 3 chakras really do relate to our physical being, our physical selves. They relate to, survival, sex, procreation, ego, personal power, those things. And then our heart chakra is the middle chakra. It's the bridge between the more physical chakras to the more spiritual chakras. And those include the throat, the third eye, and the crown. And so if you think about the root being the foundation, which it is, that's why it's called a root, then if that's unsettled or unbalanced, then it's going to be really difficult to work on or improve upon or even access your upper chakras, right? So it's really important that we address the root chakra and stabilize it. And a lot of people want to skip that. They just want to go to the sexy chakras, the third eye, which my work is all about. But we really do have to make sure that we're stable first before we can even access that. And I'll break that down and tell you a little bit more about that. So the root chakra, if we really focus in on that, or the root foundation energy center, it's also called, it speaks of our feelings of safety and stability and connection to family members, our ancestors, etc. So it is our place where we're very instinctual, where we are in survival. We have our fight, flight, and freeze response initiated from the root chakra, depending on what's going on around us. And so it really is the basis of survival. Let's see. I'll make sure I don't skip any of the good stuff, right? Yeah, one of the big questions that people ask, when their root chakra is maybe feeling out of sorts is, do I even belong here? Am I a part of this planet? So the root chakra really does root us to the earth. It is our connection to our home, so our home being the planet, our home being our physical abode, our home being our family, our tribe, our friends, all those things that really stabilize us. And we don't necessarily think about it on a regular basis. And that's why I teach what I teach, because I think this stuff should be the primary things that we really do focus on and educate ourselves so that we can live a life of fun and grace and fearlessness, right? So let's talk about what happens or signs that your root chakra is blocked. And then I'll go ahead and get into fixing that and the remedy. Okay, so I want to make a note, though, that your root chakra is going to be blocked from time to time, and that is completely, perfectly normal. In fact, all of your chakras will be blocked and a little grungy from time to time, just depending on the life circumstances and situations that are happening around you. So your goal isn't to be 100% clear in your chakras all the time. That's not attainable. We're human beings. Life gets messy. Things happen. And so the wiser approach is to know that and then have the tools right there ready to unpack when we need them, when life throws us a curveball. Okay? So I'll give you an example. So I recently had to move. My landlady put the townhome that we were renting up for rent or up for sale. And so I just made a preemptive strike and left because I waiting and not knowing when the sale was going to take place was just way too stressful for me. And having your home in question and your living situation is definitely a root chakra issue, right? So my root chakra said, hello, fight, flight, or freeze. So I took flight and I got preactive and I found my new abode, and this is it. So this is the first, I've only been here for 10 days, 11 days now. And so I'm super grateful for it. I love this space. It's really cool. My root chakra has calmed the F down. So back to my point is that we are going to have issues in our chakras. And that's okay. So when we see that coming, or we know, oh boy, there goes my root chakra, we can feel it. I'll get a cold sore, I'll get a sign, I'll feel out of sorts. Then I can go to the clearing of it, or paying attention to it, or asking, okay, what do you have to tell me here? What do I need to know? What do I need to learn? And so then I tune in to what's going on now with any kind of chakra issue or life situation, instead of just maybe avoiding it or running away from it. These messages are here to help us. And these imbalances that we feel inside of our bodies are here to help us. They are signals for us to make some changes, or to get alert, or to pay attention. Something's coming, so that we can get ahead of it and not be overwhelmed by it. So let's talk about the signs that you're out of balance and not paying attention, maybe, or maybe you're just out of balance and your circumstance or your high self is trying to get your attention to something. And the first one is feeling anxious and insecure. So anxiety is a most definite root chakra issue. So we're feeling lost, we're feeling insecure, we don't know which way to go, we're nervous. And that is because our sense of security and safety is being challenged. And so if we can unpack that and say, where is this anxiety coming from? Where is it stemming from? Where in my life do I feel unstable or unsupported, right? And so then we can do some digging and we can do some research, and then maybe we can alleviate it. So that's my goal as being a soul coach. I don't want to suffer. And I don't want to suffer for long. I think suffering happens, but we can reduce the time. We can heal ourselves quicker just with simple awareness. And again, these tools, right? So another one is feeling depressed and lethargic, and lonely. So these are situations too where our culture has said that if you're depressed, then you're depressed forever, and here's your label and here's your medication. I say you're depressed because something's out of whack, something is out of alignment in your life that needs your attention. So let's pay attention to it. Let's heal it. Let's address it. Let's soothe that. It doesn't have to be a lifelong situation. It's temporary. And so when we understand that we're experiencing depression, which we all do from time to time, life happens, life gets messy, then we address it and we address our root chakra, and we take super good care of our root chakra and we nurture it and we use these tools. Another one is, financial struggles. So when you're feeling broke and you're struggling financially, that is a huge root chakra red flag. And red is actually the color associated with the root chakra, by the way. And so when we're feeling that lack and limitation, poverty, that is some root chakra stuff. And there are ways that we can go around that and improve our financial story, our abundance, and our prosperity. Some of it is mindset and some of it is physical. And so we're going to dive into both of those in just a couple minutes. Number 4 I have here is actual body pain. And so when we have lower back pain and knee pain, leg pain, these are signs that our root chakra is out of balance and that we have fear about moving forward or feeling unsupported. So typically the back pain has a lot to do with feeling unsupported, and that feeling unsupported usually by your family members. So the family and ancestry is at the root of the root chakra. So there's a lot of stuff in there that we can unpack about our past and our ancestral DNA or energy that has maintained in our bodies and in our families, and coming to understand that there's a lot in there that we love and we absolutely embrace it, but there's a lot of there that maybe we need to change as well. So that's something that we can look at and know that it is something that we can work with and fix or heal. I was raised by a man, so it's fix. I'm all about fixing things. And so that's that. And one of the remedies here, I'll just jump into really quickly, is with regard to family. I know a lot of root chakra issues stem from family issues. That's where we have friends and we find our tribe and we find other people to connect with and our soulmates and different connections like that. And one of my favorite quotes is from Wayne Dyer, and he says, "Friends are God's way of apologizing for your family." Okay. So our people, our tribe, they're out there somewhere, right? And so as we learn about our own energy and how we present and how our frequency shows up wherever we go, we just by law of attraction naturally attract our tribe. And I thank God for that, right? So we're not doomed and stuck with like toxic family members. We want to keep the good ones, but there's some stuff that needs to be cleaned up, most definitely with the ancestral past. Okay, number 5 is being fearful. Like, are you afraid that the world is an unsafe place? That's some root chakra stuff, you know? That is a definite matter of unstable, unsafe, fear-based root chakra toxicity that probably was handed down to you through the ancestral, the genetic DNA and all of that. And then just the environment that we're raised in, don't do this and don't do that, and be afraid of that, and la la la, and news and media. This stuff permeates us, right? And fear. So our job here is to really be mindful about what we listen to, about what we believe, and unpack those beliefs that are limiting and fearful, and ask if is that really true for me? I don't think so. I think I picked that one up from my dad. I think I'll let that one go. So here we go, just taking full responsibility for the quality of our lives, basically. And that means being mindful and checking ourselves and looking at our belief systems and cleaning things up. And it's a constant process. That's what I'm saying. We're going to be blocked. We're going to be grungy. It's going to happen. And so our job is maintenance and keeping things cleaned up. Sometimes it starts with a total overhaul, and that's fine. Most of us go through an overhaul. And then we get somewhat aligned, well, and then things happen, and then we just continuously clean it up. It's kind of like, I call it energetic hygiene. It's just like our physical hygiene. We can't just take a shower once and be clean forever. We have to take a shower every day or every other day, whatever you do, It's the same with our energy, our spiritual, our soul energy. We have to clean it up. So that means we have to pay attention to it. It's something that we need to really be aware of, because it regulates everything, so nothing, all this stuff that's happening in your life isn't just random, and we're attracting it, and there's messages here for us. And the messages that you're getting in your body, they're here to help you so that you can manifest well, move on, get over it, whatever needs to happen, so that you can live a life of grace and ease. Life is supposed to be joyous, and yes, it does have challenges, and a lot of seemingly curveballs, for sure. But it turns out that a lot of the stuff that happens is actually getting us somewhere better, getting us to our higher place, So we got to kind of have that, or I like to have that outlook and keep the faith. So when things happen and go sideways, I can say, wow, this really sucks right now, but I'm sure there's something better on the other side of this. I just can't see it yet. I don't know. So I like to keep it open at the top so that I can experience the next thing, or the better thing, or the miracle that's about to happen, right? So these aren't sentences. These things that are happening aren't here to hurt us or to cause suffering. They're here to help us grow and to expand into the best version of ourselves. All right, so number 6 is living in the past. So again, with that ancestral stuff, some people just are really stuck in the past. That's some root chakra stuff, the good old days, not adjusting well maybe to the present. Something to check out and to check into. Let's see. Oh yeah, that REM song Stand comes to mind when I was writing this. It's like, stand in the direction you are, now face north, now face south, be present, we don't have to run, just stand. And we don't have to be attached to the past. That really doesn't help us very much. Being in the present moment is where all the good stuff is, right? And then the last one is dealing with control. So the root chakra has a lot to do with control and controlling your environment and controlling your life circumstances and people and all of that. And so you can imagine that some issues, big issues, can come out of having control issues with your root chakra, such as hoarding and eating disorders. So let's talk about hoarding. So again, going back to that, there's not enough, that lack limitation mentality. So we hoard things and accumulate. With that whole money thing, it really ties up with that. Just feeling that there's not enough to go around, that lack of abundance mentality. And that can also cause greed, so hoarding and greed and mine, and because it's going to run out. And so one of the best remedies for me when that hits is just to look out my window and see the abundance of nature, see the abundance of all the animals out there and how they all have their food, and they're not worried about where their next meal is coming from. They don't have to have a meeting about it. They're supplied. They are supplied with everything they need from Mother Earth. Guess what? So are we. But we forget that. We separate ourselves from that. And then that is what causes some pain in the root chakra centers. Okay. So let me know how you're doing in your root chakra, if you have any issues going on with yours, or how the blockages manifest physically for you, or is it mental? So we all get our messages a little bit differently. I definitely feel anxious first, and then if that anxiety heightens, I will manifest a cold sore. I haven't had one in 3 years, and then I just got one. So it's like, got me, darn it. Despite all the tools that I have, it's like, but I did cut it off at the pass before it got bad. So case in point, that this stuff happens, and there's nothing to berate ourselves about it. It's just about being in the awareness and the flow so that we can deal with all of these life-changing situations a little bit better, so that we're a little bit nicer to ourselves, and that we realize that maybe there is something better for us on the other side. All right, so let us talk about the ways to clear and to calm the root chakra. And this stuff is fun. I actually was going to limit it to 7 to match the other, but it's like I just kept going because there's a lot of different ways that you can ground yourself and ground your root chakra and stabilize yourself, right? To feel safe, to feel calm, to feel balanced, to feel connected, to feel a part of this earth. And I already said it, the first one, my favorite, is grounding, also known as earthing. Grounding is literally connecting to the earth. That means taking off your shoes. That plastic is a barrier on your soles of your shoes, a barrier between you and Mother Earth. Take off your shoes and just walk in the grass, walk in the sand, in the dirt, hug a tree, be out in nature, connect with your Mother Earth, grow a garden. These are such beautiful and effective root chakra remedies. And you instinctively, intuitively know it, because most people go to nature to calm down. We go hiking and we feel calm. That's where we feel it. And so it resonates with us. And so just remember that and go and do it on purpose whenever you might be feeling anxious. I did a lot of grounding the last couple of weeks before I found my place, right? I was out at the park, sprawled out, shoes off on the grass. I don't even care if it was wet. Typically it was. And soaking up the vitamin D of the sun and just going, okay, it is what it is. And I'm okay. My needs are met. I'm fine right now. My house is being fixed for me. I know that it's going to appear when everybody's aligned and ready, right? So that grounding gives you time to slow down as well. And maybe even you can meditate during that time, which is number 2. I'm going to include meditation. Meditation is the cure-all for everything. Meditation is my medication. I don't need meds. I need meditation. Cheesy. So sitting in gratitude is a really good root chakra meditation to calm it. Because when we tap into the stuff that's working and gratitude and what is right in our lives, it raises our vibration naturally. It heals the root chakra and, the heart. And the heart is it is the highest vibration of all. So if we can go to the heart space and expand it, it's going to trickle down and calm that root chakra down so that you can be in a heightened place of gratitude and appreciation. And that just is like the light to the darkness of anxiety or fear, right? So it is the antidote. It is the serum. So when I am feeling out of sorts, I will just sit in a gratitude meditation. Just made up a new word, gratitation. There we go. So that works for me. Tell me what works for you. Let's see. I have another, oh gosh, I have so many. Okay. So one of my favorites is visual. I'm a very visual person. I'm totally clairvoyant in that department. I love to see and have things around me that remind me of whatever it is I want to be reminded of, right? So I study the art of feng shui. I love it. Some of it's a little superstitious, but some of it makes total sense, right? So if I put out, say I'm trying to address my root chakra and heal it and calm it down, I'll put out some red flowers, red being the color of the root chakra. And then when I see the red flowers, or I see a bowl of red apples, abundance, red, there it is. So when I see these symbols around my house, it's my medicine. It's like, oh yeah, I'm fine. I'm good. I'm stable. I'm balanced. It's all good. So having those visuals and maybe even researching some feng shui for your root chakra, really good stuff. And the third one, I might be jumping around, is mantras and affirmations. Huge. I am talking to myself all the time, right? In my head and sometimes even out loud. But when the anxiety gets really high, it's really helpful to have those verbal mantras. One of them is, I am safe. All my needs are met. And then you notice how I'm doing this while I'm doing my mantras. Something I learned from Tony Robbins. It's that conditioned response. I am safe. I can feel it in my fingers. I'm rewiring my brain right now. I'm safe. I am grounded. All my needs are met. There's something better for me. I trust myself. I trust the universe. The universe has my back. I trust. And then I, have been blessed with lots of signs. I look for signs and whatnot. And when I see the number sequence 222, that reminds me, keep the faith. So everybody's going to have their signs and their symbols of things that are going to remind them. So cultivate yours because you want to catch it. This stuff is good stuff. There's a lot of negative signs out there, whether, we're participating in them or not. So we might as well be proactive and create our own signs that keep us in a higher level. Okay. Next one, essential oils. I am a big essential oil advocate. I love essential oils for almost everything, but in this case, for aromatherapy. So in your diffuser, in your car, make a spray, spray it around your house, spray it on your body. It's the rewiring of the brain, the calming the nervous system. All of these things are calming the root chakra. So my favorite essential oils for my root chakra are the earthy ones, the deep, rich, earthy ones. I like cedarwood for meditation and to just have in my house basically almost all the time. I love cedarwood. I love a spray that I make with patchouli, orange, and lavender. That's my signature spray. I love it. Patchouli is awesome and grounding, but by itself, it's a little too strong for me. And I know a lot of people feel the same way. So if you can cut your patchouli with something else, something lighter, a lighter note like lavender or orange, it really makes it yummy. So good. And then I also like frankincense. Frankincense is one of those, talk about some of those past root chakra memories of frankincense in the Catholic Church. You know how they swing it around, and it's the frankincense incense is floating. That smell, it's good stuff. So those can trigger some happy memories. If anything triggers a negative memory, then don't use it, right? But some of them can be really good. So yeah, stick to the really groundy, earthy, cinnamon, cloves, woody kind of aroma therapy. So essential oils are abundant. You can get them in many places. I get mine through doTERRA. Love it because they actually really care about the quality of their stuff. So don't get the stuff at Walmart. It's not real. Don't get this stuff at a yard or the, the swap meets and things like that. Not real, so make sure you get some good quality stuff because it's going to be in your environment. Another one, this one is like super basic, but I have to include it. Education. So education is a huge stabilizer for the root chakra. So say, for instance, you are struggling financially, right? And that's a real struggle. Well, what if you knew more information about your finances, about how to invest, about how to save, about how to budget, about different ways that you can make money? And so that's why I'm saying when these things happen, it's eliciting a response in us. Like, what are you going to do about it? You just going to suffer with it, or are you going to do something, right? So education is a cure-all for a lot of that. We need information. And so when, disaster strikes, look into how to remedy that. And this is a part of the education system. I'm teaching you about the chakras so that you can have more awareness about yourself. So like for me, for example, I study finances because I was not raised in a financially abundant home. It always overwhelmed me and, had that mentality growing up that money doesn't grow on trees. That's some direct root chakra crushing stuff that a lot of us have endured and had to figure out as adults how to remedy that. My best remedy for that is education, knowledge, information. It's not all about just meditating and thinking things through. It's about doing some research, getting out ahead of it. What do the experts say about that? So that we can fix things. You can fix your credit score. You can be more financially stable in many, many ways. And now with, online businesses and entrepreneurship, there's a zillion ways to go about that so that we don't have to just accept what has been given to us as children. We can change things. So knowledge is power, Another one of my favorites is yoga. Yoga opens up your spine and it helps you release that stagnant energy that might be stuck in your tissues, those issues in your tissues. Open them up and let them go. So some focusing on spine opener, back openers, stretching, being aware of your posture, all of those things, being aware of how you're moving. So yoga is a great resource. And in the description, I did include one of my favorite yoga instructors on YouTube. Her name is Brett Larkin. So I put the link in there. She does a lot of free yoga classes, and she's a really good teacher. So you might want to check her out. And she's very specific on the different body parts. So I know she even has yoga classes that correspond with the specific chakras. So look her up. Okay, then the next one is sound. I love sound. Listening to or even speaking root chakra chants and listening to that root chakra music that is in a certain frequency that really heals and speaks to your root chakra. So we're matching frequencies. We're listening. It's like we're taking a sound bath. It's good for us. So, it's also free. So I also put a link in the description for my favorite meditation music, which is Meditative Mind. Love Meditative Mind. So they have music, and they also have chanting. So they have vocal. It's very soothing ambient music. And I put the link of their YouTube channel in the description. So give them a listen and see how that works for you. Oh yeah. And then another easy peasy one that seems a little counterintuitive, but giving. So again, hold on just a sec. Okay, throat chakra, be good. Behave. When you're in a place of lack and limitation, that root chakra killer, the best thing that you can do to change the energy is to give. And then you're opening up the law of reciprocity. You're allowing it to open again. I see this as like a garden hose. And when we squeeze the garden hose, we crimp it off, we're cutting the flow off. So that's where our root chakra is going to be blocked. And so it's like we're hoarding, we're holding on, we're saving, we're being stingy, we're being greedy, whatever. Got to open that crap up and then give. Like, give a little bit of money away. Give your time, give your energy, give something. And then you open up that cycle and you start that cycle again. And otherwise, you're just going to stay in the same scary, fearful, broke place, right? And so when I'm talking about broke too, I am talking about energy, love. So whatever it is you feel like there's a lack of, go give some of that away. That'll fix it quick. That will raise your vibration a zillion times. And then you've already activated like that pay it forward miracle magic where everything gets raised. And then the law of reciprocity says, oh, and then it comes right back to you. So that's not why we do it, but it is the side effect. It comes right back to you. So keep that in mind. There's also foods that you can eat to calm your root chakra and to satiate it. I think of like the root foods, the foods that grow right into the ground, potatoes, carrots, turnips. And then we talk about red foods, that calm it. And then there's also comfort foods. So when we're anxious and out of sorts, that's why comfort foods exist, folks. It's because it's to calm our root chakra. It's to feel safe again, So when we get anxious, comfort food helps. Just don't overdo it on the comfort food, and be just mindful about that and why you're doing this. So if I'm feeling out of sorts, I will note to self, comfort food right now would be really nice. And then I try to keep the comfort food healthy as possible. But knowing that you are purposefully feeding your root chakra. All right. Then we have stones. So there's all kinds of gemstones that you can purchase, like bloodstone, which is my favorite. But also, we're talking about the root chakra. So any rock, any stone, any material from the earth is going to be good for your root chakra. So go grab a rock and hold it while you meditate. It doesn't have to be a fancy one. It doesn't have to be polished. You don't have to buy it. You can just go pick up a stick, a rock, anything that is grounding. Hold on to it when you're meditating. Stick it in your pocket when you're walking around, knowing that it's there, and it's part of your system for keeping yourself rooted and grounded. Okay, I think I have them all. Oh, yeah. And then I wanted to share this one silly one that I do. It's not silly, but it's all me. You're not going to look this up and find this anywhere. But I actually do two things I'm going to share with you to calm my root chakra down. One of them is I wear this lipstick. It's called Rich Girl Red, and it's from Revlon. I put a link in there so you can get some on Amazon. But I purposely sought this out because I wanted something to give me a feeling of abundance, and I wanted it to be red, and I wanted it to symbolize my wealth and my prosperity mindset and my abundance. So I wear Rich Girl Red. Wearing it now, you can't really see it very well because there's a lot of light coming in here. But whatever works. This is like a feng shui little tip or trick that I use. And then another one that I have, and this is a psychological one for me. So you're all going to have yours. This story might trigger what you feel helps your root chakra or that feeling of abundance and well-being. When I was really young, I had my daughter. I had my daughter when I was 18. And we were on government assistance. I was in college, the whole bit. Very, very little money, just squeaky money. So I would sometimes steal toilet paper from a fast food place or whatever, because that was such a luxury item for me back then. And so now, and of course, that was just a short period of time, and then got the education and shifted that all up and everything changed. But now I always stock and keep a lot of toilet paper in the house. I wasn't one, though, during the pandemic that went out and bought it all, because I don't have a lack mentality. But I do like to keep at least a pack in the house. And then when I see it, I feel abundance, and then I'm grateful. And I remember the struggle with the poverty that I did experience at one time. And it's something that is just a part of who I am now. So you're going to have your stories on root chakra and abundance and prosperity mindset and all of those things, and how you remind yourself or know that you're okay and that you are safe and that you are grounded, right? So I'd be curious to know what your signs and your symbols are for a balanced root chakra, and how you know that you are taken care of. One thing I have learned to love and accept and know is that we live in such a benevolent universe. This universe is so benevolent. I mean, it just provides everything we need all the time. The physical, the spiritual, the guides behind the scenes, making stuff like this happen when we're freaking out and not trusting. There's such kindness and such benevolence happening that if we can tap into that definitely immediately calms our root chakra. And that's part of the gratitude meditation that I do. When I do those, that's when I remember what a kind, benevolent universe that I actually live in, and that I am cradled and I am nurtured and so well taken care of. So, what I want to do is I want to just take a minute to clear our chakras and just do a really short little meditation, so I can demonstrate how to do this and how to get yourself in state quickly when you're feeling out of sorts. So I'm sitting. So if you're sitting, just make sure that your body feels stable and that you feel balanced in your body. That's a big one. feeling comfortable, feeling balanced. And then just taking a couple of breaths. Breathing is great for the root chakra, by the way. And just breathing in safety, security, and letting go anxiety. And keeping your eyes open or closed, whatever works for you. And then one of my habitual self-soothing things that I do is I rub my thighs while I'm here. And it just continues to ground me. I press my hands into my thighs, and I can like push away any kind of negative energy and just push it away, and then soothe myself, and maybe have a conversation even with my inner child and even my adult self that, hey, you're okay. Everything's good. You live in a benevolent universe. The universe has your back. All of my needs are met, and then some. That we are surrounded by and provided with tremendous abundance and prosperity. It is ours. It's our birthright. Just like the birds, just like all the other animals. And so we just open ourselves to be receptive, to receive, and open at the top to imagine more, better, safe, connected to Mother Earth, feeling our feet on the ground, remembering our connection with her, giving her thanks for all that she does for us. All my needs are met. I'm safe. I'm grounded. I am good. Easy peasy. That's all it takes. It might take it repetitively over and over, depending on what's happening in your life, right? Be gentle with yourself. Be easy with yourself, and know and remember that the universe does indeed have your back, and that there's so much information there for you when things do go a little sideways or unbalanced, that it's not a punishment, it's a signal. And so get curious, unpack that signal, unpack that box. What's in there for you? I guarantee you there's something really good in there for you. I know that for sure. All right, so let me tell you about a class online course that I'm launching next week on the first day of spring on March 20th. It's Saturday. This is a 7-day chakra cleanse. So in this chakra cleanse, we're going to take one chakra at a time per day and really get to know it. Hold hands with it. Get to know your energy centers. Get to know your energetic makeup. You know, not just a fleeting list, but sitting with one chakra at a time. So we'll have a Facebook group. We'll have a Zoom meeting. You'll get all kinds of different ways to balance your chakras, all kinds of information. So look into that. I've got the link in my description. I really hope to see you there. It's going to be a lot of fun. So we're going to be meeting live every day for 7 days via Zoom. And then we're going to, chime in through Facebook when it's convenient for us. And that is just going to be such a good cleanse. It's like a spring cleaning for your soul. It's just good medicine. And then also my last note is that I did in my last Soulcast talk about starting 10 at 10. So 10 meditations for 10 minutes. And with the move, there was just no way. I always think I can do way more than I can. So patience, grasshopper. That's one of my sayings, that I'm going to start that on March 15th on Monday morning at 10 a.m. So I hope to see you there. All right, folks. Well, if you have any questions for me, leave them in the chat. I will answer them. And until I see you in class or next week's Soulcast, take excellent care of yourself. All right. And rock that root chakra. You are good. You got this. All right. Take good care. I'll see you soon.